Good morning, students. This is 10th standard biology video class, video 4. In this video, we are going to continue the lesson nervous system. Dear students, the last video class we have seen human nervous system divided into three types: central nervous system or CNS, peripheral nervous system or PNS, and autonomic nervous system or ANS. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system consists of nerves of brain and spinal cord. Then autonomic nervous system consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. Then we have seen central nervous system, organs, that is structure of brain and its function. Brain is a CNS organ located in the body cavity of the skull. Another organ, spinal cord, located in the cavity of vertebral column, that is backbone. Our human brain is located in the body cavity, surrounded by a three membrane named meninges, outer durameter, middle arachnoid membrane, inner pyometer. These three layers prevent the brain from the mechanical injury. Then our human brain divided into three main parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is formed of two organs, cerebrum and diencephalon. The diencephalon consists of dorsal thalamus and ventral hypothalamus. Then cerebrum is the largest portion of your brain, which consists of two cerebral hemisphere separated by a median cleft made up of tissue known as corpus callosum. The cerebrum divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. The outer cortex made up of with gyri and sulci, which increase the surface area. Then it consists of four lobes: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe and an occipital lobe. These lobes are associated with separate function. This region, which is responsible for thinking, intelligence, consciousness, memory, imagination, reasoning and willpower. Then thalamus, known as relay center. Hypothalamus is known as thermoregulatory center, which link the nervous system and endocrine system. Next one, midbrain, which is located between thalamus and hindbrain, which consists of four rounded bodies known as corpora quadrigemina, is the important 2-mark question, responsible for visual and auditory reflexes. Then hindbrain, formed of pons and medulla oblongata and cerebellum. The cerebellum is the another largest part of the brain, doing voluntary movements and maintain the body balance. Pons is a Latin word meaning bridge, which connect the lobes of cerebellum and also responsible for respiration and sleep cycle. Next one, medulla oblongata, is the posterior most part of the brain, connects the spinal cord to various parts of the brain. It acts as a cardiac center, respiratory center, vasomotor center to control heartbeat, respiration and contraction of blood vessels. And also it regulates the vomiting sensation and salivation process. So up to this only we have seen in the previous video class. Today we are going to start the new topic, structure of spinal cord and its function. Dear students, spinal cord. It is a cylindrical structure lying in the neural, that is nerve canal of the vertebrate column. This is also covered by a membrane known as meninges. The spinal cord, which is extended from lower end of the medulla oblongata. Dear students, so in the lower section and all you have studied, elongation of medulla oblongata is known as spinal cord, isn't it? It's a basic concept that only they are given here. It extended from the lower region of the medulla oblongata to the first lumbar vertebra. That means first vertebral column. The posterior most region of spinal cord tapers. That means it starts from the topmost region to the bottom. It's gradually their position is reducing or decreasing. That is said to be tapering end. Okay. So the posterior most region of the spinal cord tapers into a fine, thin, fibrous thread-like structure is called a filum terminale. That means the posterior most end of the region, spinal cord, which is sharpening into like a needle, gradually decreasing their size and end with a sharp pointed tip made up of with fine fibrous thread-like structure is called a filum terminale. Dear students, the inner region of the spinal cord contains a fluid or a liquid-like substance known as cerebrospinal fluid, which is filled the cavity of the spinal cord known as central canal. That means the inner side of the spinal cord contains a cavity filled with a liquid or a fluid is known as cerebrospinal fluid. Then the spinal cord, which consists of grey matter. The shape of the grey matter is H shape. The upper end of the H forms the posterior horns. Horns means, what is that one? A sharp pointed curved organ which is present in the cow. Kombu. Likewise, the H-shaped structure of posterior horns is the upper end and the lower end forms the anterior horns. So upper end of H known as posterior horns and the lower end of the H is known as anterior horns. In the posterior horn contains bundle of fibers forming dorsal or afferent root. In the posterior horns, number of the fibers pass through forming a dorsal or afferent root. The fibers pass out from the anterior horn forming ventral or efferent root. Dear students, a bundle of fiber which is passed through in, that means inner side of the posterior horn, forming the root is known as dorsal or afferent root. Another bundle of fibers pass outward from the anterior horn forming ventral or efferent root. 2 mark question. Differentiate between afferent root and efferent root. What is afferent root? A bundle of fiber, that is cluster of fiber, pass through in to the posterior on, forming dorsal or afferent root. Likewise, a bundle of fibers pass outward from the anterior on, forming ventral or efferent root. These roots are joined together. What is the two roots? Afferent root and efferent root are joined together to form a spinal nerves. So how spinal nerves are formed? A bundle of fiber pass into the posterior on, forming afferent or dorsal root. A bundle of fiber pass outward from the anterior on, forming ventral or efferent root. Both afferent root and efferent root form a spinal nerves. Join together, form a spinal nerves. So this is the white matter of spinal cord. So the shape of the the shape of the grey matter of spinal cord is H shape. Upper end posterior on, lower end anterior on. Both of them contain some of the fiber. Bundle of fiber pass into the anterior on or afferent root, pass away into the anterior on, known as efferent root. Both join, form a spinal nerve. So these are all the structure and function seen in the grey matter of the spinal cord. So when you are coming to the white matter, it is external. So grey matter is internal. White matter is external. This is also contain bundle of nerve tract, that means path, nerve path. This spinal cord conducts sensory and motor impulse to and from the brain. So the spinal cord conducts sensory and motor impulses. So sensory means what is that one? It receiving message from the sense organ. That is sensory motor or sensory organ. Motor impulse, that is means what is that one? Motor, it's related to the muscles and gland. That is said to be motor impulse to and from the brain. And also it controls the reflex action of the body. So this is the structure of spinal cord. Now we are going to see how the nerves are arranged in the spinal cord with the help of the diagram. Dear students, see the diagram. This is the structure of spinal cord. The shape is at the center, see. This is the cavity which is filled with a fluid or liquid known as cerebrospinal fluid. There it consists of two matters. One is the H-shaped matter known as grey matter, which is internal. Outer to the H-shaped grey matter, it is the white matter. See, the H-shaped grey matter, the upper end is known as, what is that one? Posterior horn. And the lower end is known as anterior horn. Then see the posterior on, bundle of nerves which are pass into, that means enter into the posterior on, which is seen in the blue color. That means from outside to inner side of the posterior on, the bundle of nerves are passed into the posterior on, known as dorsal or afferent horn. Okay. Sorry, afferent root. Another one that is in the anterior side, a bundle of nerves which is passed away from the anterior on. See orange color. It will be moves away from the anterior on is known as ventral or efferent root. So both of them which are joined together to form a spinal cord nerves or spinal nerves. With the help of these spinal nerves only, the spinal cord which are doing the different function, that means it conducts the impulse to and from the brain and sensory and motor impulses. It controls the reflex action of the body. So dear students, this is the structure of, what is that one? Spinal cord. See, sensory neurons under motor neurons. See, the blue color is said to be, what is that one? Sensory neurons, which receives the message from the external environment with the help of, what is that one? 5 type of sense organs. Then the message which is received by sensory neurons is sent to the motor neurons. Example, muscle and glands, to away from the anterior on. So with the help of these spinal nerves only, the spinal cord which are doing the functions in our body. Dear students, I hope have you all understood the structure of spinal cord and its function. What is the structure? It consists of a central cavity or spinal cavity made up of with fluid known as cerebrospinal fluid. It consists of 2 matter, grey matter which is H-shaped, located internal. Then outer to the grey matter, it is white matter. Okay. So the grey matter which is H-shaped contain 2 horns, anterior horn and posterior horn. Posterior horn known as dorsal or afferent root. Anterior horn contains the nerves known as ventral or efferent root. Both the roots are joined together to form spinal nerves which are responsible for the activity of spinal cord. This spinal cord is the elongation of medulla oblongata. At the tapering end of the spinal cord, made up of with thin filamentous structure is known as, or fibrous structure known as filum terminale, is an important 1 mark question. At the tapering end of the spinal cord, which is made up of thin fibrous thread-like structure is known as dash. What is that one? Filum terminale. Dear students, in the previous para we have seen the central cavity of the spinal cord made up of with a fluid or water is known as cerebrospinal fluid. Now we are going to see that functions of a cerebrospinal fluid. Dear students, cerebrospinal fluid. The brain is suspended in a special fluid environment is called cerebrospinal fluid. What is that one? It is brain is suspended in the liquid-like substance is known as cerebrospinal fluid or CSF. It is colorless, that is known as lymph-like. Watery fluid, that's why I told you colorless, that surrounds and protect the brain within the skull region. So dear students, like spinal cord, the brain is also suspended or located in a watery-like substance or a lymph-like substance is known as CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid, which protects the brain within the skull. And this one is also fills the central canal or center cavity of the spinal cord. We have seen in the previous para. So both the fluids are same only. It is located at the center of the spinal cord, and also the fluid which is present in the skull region of a cavity. The brain is suspended. It is colorless, lymph-like, watery substance, protect the brains from the mechanical injuries. Now, the functions of CSF. Dear students, this is the important 5-mark question and 4-mark question. What is CSF? Write its function. What is a CSF? A brain which is suspended in the fluid-like environment is called CSF, which is lymph-like, watery fluid that surrounds and protect the brain within the skull, not in the outer side. Within the skull, it protects the brain and surrounds the brain. It also fills the central canal of the spinal cord. Function. It acts as a shock absorbing fluid and protect the brain from damage. I told you, isn't it? It acts as a protective region to prevent the brain from mechanical injury. That's why they given damage. Act as a shock absorbing fluid and protects the brain from damage. When it is subjected to the sudden jerk. So sudden jerk means sudden shock-like substance activities. At the time, it prevents the brain from the damage. And also, it supplies food material to the brain, nutrient to the brain. Then, it collects the waste material from the brain and removes from the brain. Then it also maintains the equilibrium or constant pressure inside the cranium. So cranial nerve means, what is that one? A skull which is made up of the nerve is known as cranial nerves. So this cranial nerves sometimes the pressure will happens. So that should be increase or decreases. That should be maintaining by this CSF with a constant pressure inside the cranium. So it is responsible for maintaining the, what is that one? Constant pressure. There is no increase or decrease. Maintaining the constant pressure inside the cranium. So that is the functions of CSF. It's the fluid where the brain is suspended. It is water-like substance, surrounds the brain and protect the brains within the skull. This fluid only fills the central cavity or canal of the spinal cord. Function, it prevents the brain from the sudden jerk, supplies food material to the brain, removes waste material, collect the waste material and removes the waste material from the brain and maintaining the constant pressure in the cranium, inside the cranium. This is the function of CSF. Dear students, next we are going to see the important functions of a spinal cord with an example. Dear students, in the previous para, we have seen the function of the spinal cord is it controls the reflex action of the body. What is reflex action? Simply, we can able to say that one responds to the particular stimuli. For example, if you are touching the hot pan, what will happen? We immediately remove our hand, isn't it? That is the reflex action. Then, if you are feeling thirsty, you are drinking water. That is response to the stimuli. But these reflex actions are immediately taken place without controlling. If you are feeling thirsty means sometimes we control our thirsty feelings, isn't it? After that we will drink it water. But this reflex action means immediate action. See the first example. If you touch the hot pan with your hand, what will happen? Immediately we will remove it, isn't it? That actions are when the dust particles falls on your eyes, immediately we close your eyes, isn't it? That is said to be reflex action. So, reflex action is taken place automatically without our consciousness. Okay, that is said to be reflex action. Dear students, see the first two lines is the definition for reflex action. What is reflex action? Reflex is any response that occurs automatically without consciousness. It is divided into two. One is the basic reflex, another one is the conditioned reflex. First one, simple or basic reflex. So these reflexes are inbuilt, that means already produced in our body, inbuilt and unlearned responses. No need to learn from others. It will be already produced in our body. That is said to be inbuilt and unlearned responses. Many of the actions we perform in our day-to-day life are simple reflexes. Example, winking of eyes. Dear students, after hearing these words, go on, stand in front of the mirror and watch your face. Your eye is, without our consciousness, it's blinking, isn't it? Sorry, it is winking. That is said to be winking of eyes when any dust particles enters. Okay. Then sneezing, a dust particle which is enter into our nose. We'll getting the sneezing. Coughing, that means cough. Okay. Then yawning, kotavi அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, isn't it? Yawning. So these are all the different reflex actions are inbuilt and unlearned responses taken place in our day-to-day life. So these actions are taken place without thinking. Imagine if you are touching the hot pot and you are wait for something to get the order from the brain means how is it possible, isn't it? It is not possible. So when you touch the hot pot, immediately we are removing our hand. That actions are said to be simple or basic reflexes. That means the actions taken place without thinking. Another one, acquired or conditioned reflexes is another one. These reflexes are produced by practice and learning. By repeated practice and also learning from others, make these kind of reflexes known as conditioned reflexes. For example, if a music teacher play a harmonium by striking the string which is present in the harmonium, that should be learned by some other student, and he has done many practice and he is become an harmonist. That is said to be conditioned reflex. Okay, so here these conditioned reflexes are produced by practice and learning. See example, playing harmonium by striking a particular key on seeing a music note is an example of conditioned reflexes which required conscious training effort. Can you think of some more example of conditioned reflexes? Playing a tabla, playing a guitar, playing a veena, isn't it? Not only that, in the classroom situation is also conditioned reflexes only. The teacher is teaching particular subject in your class. You are learning from the teacher and practice within the classroom and also at home. You are developing your actions. Those actions are known as acquired or conditioned reflexes. Dear students, these reflection actions are monitored and controlled by the spinal cord. I told you in the starting of the para itself, I told you spinal cord controls the reflex actions of our body. So, this spinal cord is known as spinal reflexes. So, the two reflexes are basic reflexes or conditioned reflexes are controlled by spinal cord. So, spinal cord is known as spinal reflexes. Dear students, see the diagram. The diagram which is explaining the reflex action and its pathway taken place with the help of spinal cord. So this is the vessel which containing hot water. Here the receptors are, what is that one? External heat, isn't it? Heat pain, that is the receptor. Which one is the receiving organ here? Skin. Skin is one of the sensory organ, isn't it? So, receptors in skin which receives the heat pain which is carried by sensory neuron which is present in the skin, isn't it? Sensory neuron, and is passed the message to the spinal cord. Then, at the end of the sensory neuron which is connected to the associate neuron or relay neuron. What is relay neuron or associate neuron? Which conducts the impulse between sensory neuron to the motor neuron. So the first sensory neuron which receives the heat pain, that should be received by relay neuron present between these two. Then it passes through the heat pain to the motor neuron. What is the motor neuron? Here is the muscle. Muscle is the motor neuron which is modified into effector. So effector means it transports the impulse from the sensory neuron to the motor neuron is known as effector. So here receptors now receiving, effector means They are, what is that உங்களுக்கு? Respond. Receiving stimuli. Effector, that means response. What is the response? The spinal cord, which gives immediate order without our control or consciousness to remove the hand from the hot water. So that is the reflex action and its pathway taken place by spinal cord. Dear students, you should know one important thing. Brain is known as the coordination organ and controls all the organ which is present in our body. Normally, any message which is received from the external environment, that should be sent to the brain. Then after that only the brain will give order to do the activities. But this reflex action is somewhat different from the brain activities. That reflex actions are controlled by spinal cord without getting permission from the brain. Because this is immediate action which has taken place. Immediate action which is taken place without consciousness. That is said to be reflex action. Dear students, this is the example to show the reflex action and its pathway. I hope have you all understood what is spinal cord and its two basic reflexes and the example of reflex action. Remaining, we will see in the next video class. God bless you. All the best, children.